2, 1.
Hello, my name is Anoushka, candidate number 0006, center number IN518, and my topic today is about the ethics and economics of food. So here's the problem: food insecurity and scarcity. Food insecurity is defined as the state of not having reliable access to affordable and nutritious food. This is caused by factors such as population increase, climate change, and natural disasters. Exporting food as redistribution. In the mid-1980s, Ethiopia was the largest net exporter of food. When we think of Ethiopia, we think of it as a third world country, a poor country. So how is it that such a poor country was exporting large amounts of food to richer countries? These richer countries were leeching their food reserves off and leaving them with virtually nothing. Basic supply and demand. As the supply for a product goes down, the demand for that product goes up, thereby increasing the prices as well. Paying farmers not to farm. The Conservation Reserve Program is a USDA-approved organization which pays farmers not to practice their profession in order to protect wildlife. Here are some of the consequences. Malnutrition and health issues. Malnutrition can lead to several debilitating illnesses, extreme health issues, and dire consequences. Material deprivation for youth. Material deprivation is the state of not having access to goods and services that would normally be accessed by individuals and households of that stature. This can have a negative impact on the educational achievement of the youth. Increases in the prices of food. As I said before, supply decreases and the demand increases, thereby increasing the prices as well, which leaves individuals not having lesser money to buy food as the prices go up. And countries undergo trade deficits, as some countries will import a lot of goods and services and not have any exports to balance it off. Here are some of the possible solutions. Aid to poorer nations. Urban agriculture, which is the cultivation, process, and distribution of food in a village, town, or city. Stopping the spread of non-native invasive species, which are any species or organisms that are not native to a certain ecosystem, thereby causing harm on that ecosystem. Strengthening domestic laws and maintaining company transparency. Impact of solutions on ethics. Countries are encouraged to be more ethical, and stricter laws will regulate behavior more closely. Both of these can have a very good effect on food wastage, as it reduces food wastage. As countries are encouraged to be more ethical, they then think of wasting food less. And if there are better consequences and sanctions on wasting food, then it will also cause people to waste lesser food. Urban agriculture drives ethical usage of produce, thereby limiting food wastage. So urban agriculture is cultivating enough for yourself and your family. Not more, not less, so you're not really wasting large amounts of food. And we have transparency may reduce unethical company practices, especially if the company has a history of doing so. Impact of solutions on economics. Food security leads to healthier individuals, thereby leading to more active members of the workplace. This can lead to higher productivity, decreased unemployment rate, and it eventually contributes to the GDP. Urban agriculture helps in raising the need for, reducing the need for imports, and possibly increasing the need for exports, which then causes more opportunities for jobs, which decreases unemployment rate, increases productivity, and contributes to the GDP. It limits the requirement for extra agricultural expenditure, as this is in relation to the non-native species. If we eradicate these species head-on, then we won't have any requirement for extra insecticides, pesticides, weed killers, etc. And it could result in a possible return on investment. Impact of these solutions on politics. Food security ensures political stability. If people have a reliable access to food, there won't be any chaos or unrest in their communities, thereby reducing political instability. Government can apply expenditure on other pressing issues. Food insecurity is a pressing issue. However, there are many other problems such as international relations, crime, and country security that the government can apply their expenditure on instead. Urban farming can be useful for countries with corrupt governments, as it's essentially taking matters into your own hands. Some governments and countries don't provide subsidized food and grants or other help to these individuals in their country. So urban agriculture helps you to fend for yourself and cultivate enough to feed yourself and your family. Aid can encourage healthy relationships with other countries. As I said before, it can result in a possible return on investment, which can also lead to healthier relationships. Here are some steps we have taken globally, locally, and what we can do personally. The USA aided Ethiopia and Kenya due to their drought effects, aiding almost $169 million. The urban agriculture in Havana and Hyderabad are one of the largest urban agricultural sites in the world. When the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s, so did Cuba's source of food, but they managed to get through it by urban agriculture, and it's one of the largest sites in the world. The National Food Security Act of 2013 is India's aim to provide subsidized food grains to 2/3 of India's 2.1 billion population. The Destructive Insects and Pests Act are essentially eradicating any non-native invasive species and any species or organisms that can cause harm to crops. And what we can do personally: invest in urban agriculture. Donating to your local businesses, supporting your local businesses, starting urban agriculture of your own can really drive ethical usage of produce and limit any food wastage. Setting up local campaigns for the distribution of food to the less fortunate. Anything that you don't plan on using, that you don't want, that you don't need, it's really beneficial to give back to the community and give it back to the less fortunate who need it more than you. Here are my references, and thank you.